Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Making an Impact with Zebu Nation. And today we have for you week 3 in Major League Soccer. So let's take a look at how things are going right now. Take a look at the conference tables. In the Eastern Conference, we got the New York Red Bulls on top with 10 points after 5 games. They're in a tie, basically, with the Philadelphia Union, who also have 10 points and a +5 goal differential. Both teams +5 goal differential. But the good news for Philadelphia is they've got a game in hand. They've only played 4 games so far. So, they could definitely overtake New York in the next couple of weeks. No problem there. But third place behind those two teams is, look who it is, Montreal. 5 games in, we got 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses for a total of 7 points, +3 goal differential. So we're holding our own a little bit on the plus-minus ratio. But we've been playing okay, and, third place, we'll definitely take that, no problem. Now, we are tied with 3 other teams, Columbus, Atlanta, and Toronto. So some of the best teams in the league are right there with us. Most notably Atlanta, they've also only have 4 games in hand, so they could jump up to the top of the table here in the next couple of weeks. But on the flip side of that, you got Toronto. They've played 6 games already, and they've only got 1 win on the season, 4 draws, so they could slip behind a little bit. Teams like New England, basically New England is the team that can catch them easily in the next week or two, but a team like NYFC's only played 3 games. So we got, a bit of a wacky start to the beginning of the MLS season. So nobody's out of the race just yet, and there's lots of stuff going on. So that's Eastern Conference. Western Conference, Portland is on top, all by their lonesome with 13 points, 4 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, +8 goal differential. So they're kind of separating themselves a little bit in the Western Conference. Sporting KC's trying to catch them up. They got 3 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. Only a +2 goal differential, though. So it looks like Sporting is doing it with defense rather than offense. And they're rounding out the playoff spots with Seattle, San Jose, Colorado, and Minnesota. But there's a couple other teams with 7 points as well, tied with Colorado and Minnesota. Vancouver and Los Angeles FC all have 7 points. So it's a pretty tight race in the Western Conference in terms of playoff position. It might be a little bit too early to talk about playoff position, so we'll look at the Supporters' Shield real quick. As you could guess, Portland is on top, 2 points ahead of Sporting KC, New York, Philadelphia. We're 7th. In the league overall, so that's pretty good. That's much better than we were predicted to do, which was dead last, and that's better than what our board wants, which is mid-table. So we're looking pretty good so far this season. Got a good slate of games this week. New York Red Bull at New England Revolution is pretty good. Sporting KC at Minnesota. NYFC versus Toronto FC. That's a game of significance for both teams, because if Toronto loses, then they'll have played 7 games already. But NYFC, they've got a little bit of room to maneuver because, as I mentioned, they only played 3 games, so they could make up some points here. San Jose Portland, Chicago Columbus, and this week probably the big matchup of the week, Montreal versus Atlanta United. It's 2 teams in playoff positions. It's probably the featured matchup of the week, so we got to get ready for that. Some other things going around in the league. We got our top goal scorers. As you can see, Adi from Portland is still up top. 6 goals. He's killing it. But look who's behind him. Old man Mancosu. He has come on in the last couple of games. He's got 5 goals to his name. Looking pretty good. Luna, also for Portland, up there with 5 goals. So as you can see, Portland is just killing it right now. They've got the 2 of the top 3 goal scorers, 2 of the top 3 average rating players. Mancosu is also up there with an 8.02. And then they got one of the league leaders in assists, Blanco. Sebastian Blanco. So Portland is really, really killing it, especially offensively. So we got to watch out for them, and hopefully we don't play them anytime soon because we got some problems of our own. Okay, so let's take a look at the schedule, see how we got here. So the last game we saw was the game versus Colorado. We won 2-1. And after that, our schedule got pretty hectic. We had to play a really rotated squad. Well, not really, but a kind of rotated squad against San Jose. We lost 1-0, and this game was really frustrating. You know, we had our starting defense in there. We had some veterans in there. Watts, Piet coming off injury was in there. But our team just didn't play very well. You know, good old Chris Wondolowski got a goal against us in the 14th minute, and we just couldn't do anything about it. Our team looked out of sync. We got a red card from Salmon, our rookie fullback. Injury to Andre. Lots of yellow cards all over the place. And our team just didn't play well. And I think it might be because we played the Burning Man formation, the 4-1-2-3. We played a little conservative. We played counterattacking style. And it just didn't work out. Not at all. The team looked bad. So I said, you know what? Forget that. We're going to go back to our roots. We're going to go back to what worked in the preseason, which was attack in the 4-2-4 formation. And look at this. We just crushed Chicago. 4-0 on the road. I mean, just dominated them at their home park. Look at these statistics. Defense played outstanding. Midfield played well, but our strikers were just all over the place. Mancosu, 2 goals, 9.6 ratings. Jackson Hamill, a 9.3. I mean, we just killed them. Let's take a look at the highlights here. I think we just have to go on attack with this team. There's just no two ways about it. No matter who's playing, no matter what's going on, we just have to attack. It's the mentality of these guys. It's what we got. Nice pass forward by Louis to Vargas. He's got several players to choose from. Mancosu heads it down to Jackson. And there's that tandem, man. Those two guys, I don't know what it is, but they've got some really special chemistry right this season. There's a turnover. There's Louis making another play. Gets it out to the other youngster, Conyer, and he sends it forward. Great pass. Mancosu on the rebound, and just a wonderful shot. You know, Jackson Hamill didn't quite handle that pass very well, but he got a fortuitous bounce. Tran, throw in near side. Jackson to Martin. Martin, nice pass ball forward. What is that called? A through ball? Yes, through ball to Mancosu again with the goal. And here's a set piece. Vargas sending it in. Mancosu brings it in, drops it across. Taylor, the young central defender, I think that's his second goal on the season. So that's really good. You know, we played so well. I can't see us doing anything but attacking for the next couple of weeks and just see what's going on. Especially we got a couple of home games on the schedule. So I think that's how we're going to do it. That's how we're going to play. And we'll get to our formation here. As you can see, we're going with the 4-2-4. Going to hand that over to the assistant coach. Now, this has been a rough couple of weeks, as I mentioned, with injuries, suspensions. We got a packed schedule. And if you saw our last video, you saw we had a ton of players going out on international leave. And they just got back like yesterday, most of them. So we got a bit of a problem in terms of our roster. Let's see, Zizo has been put on waivers, so we could claim this guy off waivers if we want to. 30-year-old right fullback American. Nah, not worth it. He's okay, but not interested. So yeah, we got some fitness issues right now, and you know, I had to make some moves. I had to call some players up from the academy just to fill in the roster. So we can take a look at our transfers right now. So I made another bid. I made a bid for Raheem Edwards, the 22-year-old. I've been watching the videos for the preseason for the Whitecaps, for the Impact. And I really like Raheem Edwards' energy on the team. He's, he jokes around a lot, and I just think he brings a good chemistry to the team. So as you can see here, he's got 14 leadership. He's, again, he's pacey on the wings. But the other reason I want to bring this guy in, not just because he's on the Impact, just because he's Canadian, but if we're going to commit to this attacking style, we need a few more wingers. Our wingers, we've only got like 3 or 4 wingers, honestly. So we need to add another winger, add some more depth. So we're going to bite the bullet. We're going to spend some money on Raheem Edwards, even though we probably shouldn't. It's not a great deal, but it's sort of a sentimental deal. We're going to spend $450,000, which is a lot of money, going to North Carolina. That's going to help out their program quite a bit. And we've also agreed to arrange a friendly with them, and if we sell him on, we're giving them 50%. So we just made a great deal for North Carolina. They know that we want this guy, and they're sort of holding us over a barrel on him. So that's fine. I mean, we can afford it. So I'm going to do it, just, not just for nostalgic reasons, because we do need him, but, mostly for nostalgic reasons. Anyway, the other thing that we did was we brought up 4 guys from the academy, just because our roster was so low because we'd sent so many guys out on loan, which probably we shouldn't have, but I didn't realize we'd have so many international players. We had, I think, 8 international players, and that was just too much for our roster to handle. So we brought up Montreal, the goalkeeper, which we looked at last episode, just to keep him away from those French teams, honestly. Then we brought up our top prospect, Jan Franco Vasquez, the 16-year-old striker, 17 finishing, 17 bravery, composures, physical's okay. Off the ball teamwork. This kid is a really great prospect. One of the best prospects I've seen in MLS, for a striker as far as a 16-year-old goes. So we're going to get him some tutoring, get him some training, hopefully send him out on loan at some point this season. But for now, we kind of need him, so we're going to bring him up and use him. Brought in Camille Ortiz, 16-year-old defensive midfielder. Again, he's just one of the best guys in our academy right now. 14 tackling means he's got at least one major league quality skill. Physically, he's not the best, but he does have good acceleration, so he can use that quickness to run around. Some positioning, some work rate. He's, okay prospect. And then Alan Munir, another 16-year-old. I would have preferred to bring up some 17-year-olds, but they just weren't as good as these guys. These guys were already 2-star abilities. He's a left defender, wingback, but we're going to play him at fullback. He's got nice physicals. Pretty good mentals. Work rate is pretty good. Positioning okay. 12 tackling, so another good tackler. But again, these guys are just stopgap measures at the moment. We're going to try to loan them out once our other players come back. But for now, we just needed these guys. So some interesting moves, but some moves by necessity going on at the moment. Not a lot else happening. No major problems. We did have, like I mentioned, suspension and an injury. I guess we'll take a look at the injury next as soon as we move forward here. We had the big MLS roster moves special. I don't know if people enjoyed that or not. We'll see. I'm recording this on the day that I released that, so we'll see the reaction to that. But hopefully people enjoyed it somewhat. Got some interesting roster moves out of the other teams in MLS. So our medical center here, Andre, as you can see, was injured for about 2 weeks in that last game that we played. So we're without yet another midfielder. Romero is still injured for another 2 weeks as well. So we're just, we're getting pretty low on players right now. He's got a high injury risk, so we're not going to play him at all. Everybody else is fairly healthy. But, we're going to have to just cobble together a roster this week, and then hopefully everybody gets healthy for Vancouver. Now, it's not good timing that we have to play Atlanta with a struggling roster, but you got to play the schedule that's in front of you. You can't put it off for a week. So we are going with the 4-2-4. We're still going to stick with attacking. And look at all these guys we got on the bench right now. Mancosu is only 75%. Romero, injured. Cabrera, only 88%. Martin is 90%, so we could possibly, play him in a pinch if we needed to. But, we got other midfielders who are okay, so we'll leave Martin on the bench right now. Andre, injured. Fisher, 90%. So we could possibly have played him, but we didn't necessarily need him. Tran at only 84%. Giglio, 91%, but we didn't really... Well, maybe we could play Giglio instead of Minir, because we got our 16-year-old in there. But you know what? Giglio is also a 16-year-old, isn't he? And he's 17. We brought Minir in. We might as well see what he can do. So anyway, Pujol not injured, but only 87%. Anyway, we got a lot of guys who are tired, just coming back from international duty. So we're basically playing only our fit players. And the computer plays a lot of players who are unfit. And I guess they do okay, but that's not really my style. So they're going with the 4-2-3-1 DM formation that we also have access to, but we're not playing. Just, I don't know. I like the 4-2-4. It's working for us. And here's our lineup. Gonna give Giap a chance in goal. Got Minir, the 16-year-old, on the left-hand side. Salmon is taking the captain's armband. The rookie fullback. Basic coming off international duty, but he didn't play much apparently, or at least he didn't play recently, so he was pretty fit. Diallo is going to hold it down, hopefully, in central defense. Good midfield, Teder and Piet. Piet still getting match fit, but, he's more fit than anybody else on the team right now. Vargas, Petrasso at the wing, so that's a good solid wing tandem right there. And then up front, we got a pair of teenagers, Matt Johnson, the target man, and our number one prospect here, Vasquez, making his debut. So it's a really, thrown together team. And we'll see how they do against Atlanta. Nothing to lose here. Let's show everyone what we're capable of. Okay, they didn't care about that. Like, in terms of closing down, like, who do you close down on Atlanta? You'd have to close down the whole team. Who's Teal Bunbury? 28-year-olds. Interesting player. Nice physicals. Real nice physicals. Finishing only 9. Composure only 9 at best. So this guy's not necessarily a goal scorer. He does have 15 heading, though. So that's an interesting sort of target man. Not playing that well. 6.77 is okay, I guess. They've got an interesting lineup in against us. Villalba, Almiron, Barco. See, what does our assistant say we should do? Tackle hard on Villalba and Almiron. Okay. And I guess we'll tightly mark this guy and we'll close down on the rest of these characters. Don't want to give them a lot of space. Alright. Alright, let's go. Let's see what this does. We're at home, so that's good. Atlanta's got a nice little following there in the end zone. And let's see how these do. Burberry is a pretty big kid there. Villalba, not so big. He's a little guy, but he's very skilled. We tried to get him in the offseason, but they weren't interested in selling. There's Almiron, gets it up. He can just play make from the center position there. There's Salmon with a nice header, and there we go. We end our highlight. All right. Good way to start the game. Nice defensive play. We'll see how we can do. We'll see if we can catch them off guard with this lineup. They don't even know who half these people are. I'm sure they don't have a scouting report on some of these guys, on many of these guys. So we'll see. Especially not our two strikers. We're not connecting on too many of our crossers. We are winning most of the headers today. What's their defense look like? Escobar. 14 jumping reach. Uh-oh, here's a corner. Garza sends it in. Vargas sends it out. Villalba's going to track it down. Come on. What kind of goal was that? Come on now. Game? Like, that shouldn't count. That was a wayward cross. Nobody went for it. Okay, it got disallowed. Thank you. It got disallowed. Alright. Almost had a heart attack there. Arbery wins it. Nice stop. Good job, stop. So I haven't given him much playing time this season. But his match fitness is starting to wane, so I thought I'd get him in there and just keep him a little bit fit. And that was a nice stop. He's a professional goalkeeper. He should be able to stop some passes. Oof, that guy is going to be tough to stop in the box there. Struggle to control possession. Should we? I don't think we should try to control possession against Atlanta. They usually like to press. I don't know if that's what they do in Football Manager, but in real life, they like to press and get after you and counterattack. So if we just sort of don't try to play the possession game, maybe we won't fall into that trap. But we'll see. Ratings-wise, we're not doing so hot right now. A lot of 6.5s. Okay, Bosic wins the header. Tadיר, oh boy, forgot to guard this guy. Bunbury, not a great shot. I don't think we have too much to fear from his finishing. You know, as long as they don't send an aerial ball in toward him. But we do have Bosic in there, and Bosic is a big kid, 6'6". He might be able to handle that guy in the back line. Vasquez, let's see what you can do with it. He's getting double covered. They are pressing, so there we go. Salmon sends it downfield. Johnson can't get it. Bosic, though, is there. Not a great pass from Bosic. Piet, nice steal. He's got the yellow card. Another banger downfield. Johnson can't get at the target now. Bosic again, just booming it forward. You know, we don't have the same caliber of strikers in there that we have when our starters are there. Here's Villalba on the loose, going against a pair of 16-year-olds. And there's Bunbury, the finish. And we made fun of his finishing, but there he made us eat our words. It's going to be a little bit of a interesting matchup on that left-hand side with Villalba. It might be a big mistake. We might have to make some substitutions at halftime. And that's another reason why I wanted to start the youngsters, is that if we needed to, we could bring them in. As you can see, they're not playing too well. 6.4, 6.5 ratings. We could bring in some guys in off the bench. We got Taylor and Hassler we could bring in if necessary. Alright, so we're only down 1-0. That's okay. I know we're the underdogs here. Go out there and whatever. Analysis, what are we looking at? Again, they want us to control possession. At the same time, they also want us to pump the ball into the box, so make up your mind. Tactics. Heard some thumping upstairs. Okay, I just got a package or something in my front door. We'll check that out. Let's see. Who do I want to substitute? Or do I want to substitute? I kind of want to bring in Taylor, just to give us a little bit more of a solid back line. And that seems like the thing to do, especially with Villalba running around out there. We can't just have him running around making plays. And then I think I'm going to bring in Jackson Hamill for Johnson. at the target man position. Give us a little bit more, you know, a little bit more playmaking ability up top. So there we go. All right, start the second half. Let's go, boys. Piet Diallo's going to bomb it downfield. Okay. So do we want to float crosses in? Now that we got our target man in there, that might not be a bad idea. So pump the ball in the box, hit early crosses. We'll see if that works. Doesn't appear to be. The clock is just rolling. Huh, 58, 59, 60. How are our rankings looking? Not so good defensively. Oh, here we go. Barco to the corner. Bunbury again. That guy is pretty physically imposing. But so far, he's only got the one goal against us. He could have more. Here's Perez. Got a yellow card. He's going to send it up to Barco. Almiron. He makes a good target, man. There we go. Salmon wins it forward. Jackson Hamill can't get there, but Piet heads it down again. Just not making any connections on that front line. Atlanta's going to be... I don't know what Brad Guzan is doing, but he's messing around. Alright, so this is what Atlanta does. They got all these talented players. They can pass the ball around the park pretty easily, even though we're supposed to be tightly marking these guys. Barco. Here's Villalba. Let's see if he can go up against our rookie. He can. Diallo, nice play. Alright. So I guess it doesn't really matter who we put out there on the left-hand side. Villalba can go around them. Almiron is really tired. Piet is tired. He's coming off an injury. Probably don't want to kill him out there. So we could bring in Louis for Piet and get a little bit of more playmaking in the midfield. Make him the deep lying playmaker. Even, I don't know if deep lying playmaker is a great idea for this tactic, but I don't know. We'll try it. This is best position. Then I think we'll take this stuff off. Maybe we'll try to retain some possession. You know, they want us to retain some possession. Let's give it a try. Listen to our coaches for once. They're getting pretty tired. Escobar's tired. They just subbed in Darlington Nagbe off the bench. How's that for a substitution? Jeez. Take off Almiron, bring on Nagbe. Okay, so our possession style didn't seem to work. 85 minutes and counting. Let's push up. Let's get stuck in. Let's do everything we can do here. Go attacking. This is about all we can do. Used our 3 substitutes. Vargas not playing well. 6.2 rating. He's tired. Probably should have saved one of our substitutes for him. 92 minutes. There's full time. 1-0 loss. So not a great game at all. But, you know, we were the underdogs, gave it your best shot, whatever. So we played a really rotated squad against one of the best teams in the league, and we only lost 1-0, but still, it's a little disappointing. Impact's poor performance adds to defeat. Yeah, we did not play very well. Vasquez makes his professional debut. Press conference, having chosen a number of players. I don't know. I don't want to talk to this guy. Send assistant. All right. So what do we got coming up next week? We got Vancouver and Columbus. Couple of winnable games. We should be able to beat both of those teams. Take a look at the calendar as it shows here. So it's starting a new month into April now. So Vancouver and Columbus, and then the schedule eases up. We only got one game next week, only one game the next 3 weeks. We got our friendly versus Bologna coming up, so that should be fun. But yeah, I guess we'll play the game Vancouver off camera, come back. Do we want to go week by week? I'm still a little unsure. It seems to be how it's going, just weekly, but that'll be a lot of weeks of games. I mean, it'd be like 20-some weeks of games. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying this. You know, it's not as fast-paced as my other saves, but I do have the Clyde FC save going on, which is more of my traditional format of doing a quarterly, mid-season, you know, type of save. So that, that satisfies my need to just keep pushing on the season, and I can take this one a little slower. So, I guess we'll come back next week with probably the Columbus game, and yeah, we'll see you then. So, yeah, bye.